you can also send emails or inquiries at gamespheres.com, GAMESPHERES. And if the warehouse still has any, I kind of stepped away from it because I'm not very good at business. I just do voices. So, you know, that was pretty much the idea about why that book came about. How did I get there? I mean, I guess we were talking earlier about how I even ended up in this place and why I'm even sitting in front of you. Am I having a hallucination, or is there a cosplay out there that's black with white feet? Yeah. All right. Everybody else can see that, right? Okay. I just want to make sure everybody else can see you because my just pooped a little. No, it's a lot actually. No, it's not at all. So I thought I'd just take a few minutes and then we'll open up. You guys can ask questions. I know that's if you have any. People ask me a lot, how did this come about, the whole Uncharted thing? And the truth of the matter is, you know, I was fortunate enough to get into gaming and just doing voiceovers. You know, you just, when gaming, they weren't even sure, developers and big companies, Activision, Sony, weren't even sure they wanted to use union, SAG, and after union actors. You know, it's like, just get, you know, nobody cares. It's, most people, kids put on their headphones and they listen to their music, they rock out and they play their game. And that's what it was when I started. A lot of people don't know, I'm 74 years old. I look great. We got into, you know, I think Maximo and the Army of Sin was one of like the first ones I ever did. And, you know, and then it ever progressed, you know, and people say, well, how did you keep getting jobs? And I think it's like any work. If you go out and you enjoy what you do and you're a good coworker and you kind of go in with a good attitude and you have fun and you work hard, you do your thing, you get hired again. You know, it's the old saying, work begets work. So I started some of those games and it started going around. And then I get this audition for something called Uncharted. And I remember it being really interesting because they said, well, I said, is it a game? They go, well, I'm not really sure. You have to know these words. You have to get the audition material. You have to be off book. And I said, so it's an on-camera. Well, we're not really sure. It's something called motion capture, performance capture. And I looked it up, and it's what with Andy Serkis, the guy's brilliant Gollum, and he did King Kong. He did all his movements. And I was looking at that, and a bunch of my friends said, oh, screw that. I'm not doing that. It's too much work. Why get in that stupid suit, do all that? Now, I've never been able to predict a stock, a Super Bowl. I'm a terrible gambler, but I remember at that moment I looked and I went, that's going to be important. I don't know what it was. I thought, that's going to be important. I want to do as much of that as I can. And the first one I actually did was NBA The Life. I played like a Jerry Maguire sports agent for a Sony game. It didn't do very well, but it was a really great concept. And it was a good game, it was good people, and it was a ton of fun. So when Uncharted came along, I knew it was motion capture, okay, I knew, but we had done something like that. And we went to, but they held the first audition in a tiny little room, and like you would do just a normal voiceover. And there's Amy Hennig and Gordon Hunt, our director, and everything, and they're just standing there like 6 feet away from me, and I'm, do you want me to move? I mean, what do you want me to do? Because it was kind of this weird kind of mixture of like an on-camera audition and just a regular voiceover audition where you have your pages and you get to do your thing. And we got through that with a big confused look on my face, and then we had the callbacks, and that's when I actually met Emily Rose, who was just reading. She wasn't even like up for the part of Elena, and she was just the reader. And I don't know what it was. It was just one of those playful, kid-like modes, just kind of going, you know what, I'm just going to have fun with this. And I remember it was like kind of like a bigger room, like a gymnasium, and I jumped over a chair and pretended, you know, had something as a gun, and I slid under the thing, and I just came up to her, and I really hurt myself with it, and I just ad-libbed. I went, oh God, that really hurt. Are you okay? And then started the scene, and it just was one of those things where it just worked. And, you know, rest is history. I mean, here I am, and the cool part is, at this point, Uncharted 2 and 3, I actually was part of the casting process, where I get to have the people come in, and now they're auditioning, and Richard McGonagle might be doing a scene with some of our final, like, with Rosalind Ayers, who did Marlowe. I'll never forget that audition. She was so good. They were about, and everybody was good, but there was something about her that was so creepy in person. It was like, she's going to be great. And if anybody is an actor at all out there, one great thing that I learned about that is she, in the middle of her audition, just completely messed up. And she just went, oh, shit. Let's start again, shall we? And I'm back there catching, and I remember as an actor, you used to think, oh, you don't want to mess up. And I'm back there, part of the casting with Amy and everyone, I was like, yeah, start again, this is great. It didn't matter. She owned it. She went in there and she just started again, and you didn't care that it wasn't perfect in an audition, because you knew, with enough rehearsals and audition, she was the perfect character. So that's how it all came about. And here we are. We're in this massive room and all this press. Listen to stories. Now, I apologize if I'm boring anybody. I think it's probably a good time. It's like different than at home. My wife's always like, just shut up for once. It's like, you make your living doing this. And it's like, well, I just have to. Okay. Oh, I told you to wait in the car. Right? So anyway, I think what we can do is probably best, if you want to ask some questions, you won't get a one-word answer. So why don't we just open up to some questions? If you have